Lalita, you can spotlight me. I will introduce everyone. Good evening, everyone. And here we
Very good
are
evening,
on
ma'am.
the, yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Here we are on the platform of Metamorphosis. And once again, we are here to bring an awareness in the education system with amazing educators connected with me throughout the globe. So as we are on the mission of walk the talk, and we are on a mission of remodeling the whole education system, not only in terms of early childhood education and education at large in the society. So according to me, when before I start the session, is education beyond classroom important for students? My question to all. In today's world, there are various methods and styles of teaching. Education has seen multiple developments and innovations due to the advent of technology. Classroom education is the traditional type of teaching method usually followed by various countries. There are various benefits of classroom teaching that cannot be replaced by technology. Classroom education alone would not be sufficient for the overall development of a student. Learning outside the classroom is essential, and this would give exposure to the young minds as they get an opportunity to explore more things in a very different way. So over to my speakers. Before I introduce them, they have amazing topics to share with their own experiences and their learning journeys. And before I call them on the stage one by one, I would like the technical help to please show the clipping of the metamorphosis. Yeah, Laliji. Yeah.
कर सकता है मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। अगर कोई कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। झांक ले अपने भीतर खुद से आप पूछ ले, कैसी चाहे जिंदगी खुली आंखों से देख ले। मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए, मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए। सबसे टकराने को, शिखर पर जाने को मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। आओ हाथ बढ़ाएं, कुछ करके दिखाना है, सारे बहानों को आज से आग लगाना है। मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए, मुट्ठियों को भींच गए।
Thank you so much, Laliji. And you can make me the host. Thank you. So over to my Laliji, you can make me the host. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. So this session is about education and beyond exceptional learning. So what is the objective of outside learning? There are several things that you know about outside learning. Education is not about acquiring knowledge, but it involves several other things that can be obtained only through outdoor learning. This type of learning helps students to frame their learning methodologies based on the things they see. It offers them a capacity to learn and contribute to live a successful life in this society. Outside learning adds up to the benefits offered by classroom learning and it is a perfect complement for the same. The primary objective of outside education and beyond is that a teacher can make the student understand that difficult concepts very quickly. It gives a deeper understanding of the fundamental concepts. So I take forward this session inviting Dimple Sahi ma'am on this platform and sharing her topic and about herself to the members of Metamorphosis and to Metamorphosis. Over to you, Dimple ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am. My topic today is do preschools contribute to fostering long-term student engagement? If we read the latest reports by the psychologists and even what doctors have been saying is maximum learning happens from 0 to 7 years. So hence, preschool also comes into the 0 to 7 years, and now with the new NEP coming, even class 1 and 2 is coming into the foundational year, so that altogether makes it the preschool sector or the foundation or the foundational age. And yes, there's a long-term engagement. So let's look at it step by step. So I would first talk about early cognitive development. That is something which happens in preschool because it's when the children are with us in the preschool, we implement age-appropriate activities which stimulate their cognitive development, and this in turn is the groundwork for sustained interest in learning. Like if I give you an example, we make children have activities like sorting objects by color, then counting blocks, exploring shapes. Now, all these activities, if you look at it for a normal person, is like, oh, the child is playing. But when you, when you look at the scientific aspect of it, it is the hands-on experience which stimulates cognitive development, and it gives them a lifelong interest in problem solving and critical thinking. Now, if I move ahead with the next thing, which most of the people are very very nicely say, I send my child to preschool because he learns to socialize. Yes, very true. Children do learn to socialize because preschools provide an opportunity for children to develop these crucial interpersonal skills. So, simple activities which we get children to do in preschool is sharing toys, or, when we take them to play on the slide and the swing, waiting for their turn to come, collaborating on projects, the simple little activities which we give them, where we have individual takeaway and a collaborative activity. So that is, again, when they do the collaborative activity, it is socialization happening. When we are preparing them for their annual gathering and, where they're dancing in a group, that is also I would say a step to early social interaction, and this brings in positive relationships. They learn teamwork, and they learn active participation in groups. The third point I would talk about here is curiosity and inquiry. So, when we get children to participate in science experiments, like, a simple thing like, when we teach them states of water, solid, liquid, and gas. So just
Ma'am, you're mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Water, you have the induction stove with you, and you have your and you put this bowl over there, or a pressure cooker on your on the induction. So right there itself, they have learned the science experiment, they've learned the states of water. You don't have to keep explaining to them solid is ice, liquid is water, gaseous is steam. They have learned it there. So that is where the curiosity and inquiry starts happening in the in the very early stages. Then the other simple things we do is, we take them for nature walks, we have field trips, we start encouraging questions. So that is something which builds their curiosity and inquiry. The next what comes in is language and communication, something which is very, very important. And language development also happens in the preschool. The show and tell activities we have, storytelling that we do, rhymes that we sing with them. So all these things help them to express themselves. They what happens over there is, they learn to express themselves. They learn new words because there's someone telling them something. And in a preschool, the maximum learning which happens is during circle time, where they are learning about, they learn to handle their emotions. Their vocabulary increases. They feel, very, very warm and welcomed in school, because the teacher is listening to everyone. She's very closely sitting to them. So, the language development happens there. Then after that, of course, it's a structured learning environment, because we introduce them to the structured learning environment where they know that, now is the circle time, now is prayer time, now we're going to go to play, then we're going to have our tiffins, when we can go to the washroom, which unlike at home, it doesn't really happen, is like, we can have breakfast when we feel like, and we can wake up when we feel like. So, preschools set a daily routine for the child. Then after that, the other things that we work on are, a positive mindset also, positive attitude, because the way we talk to our children and, the way we start developing their mindset is again something which the child carries on for a very, very long time. It, continues with the child for a long time. Then apart from that, we have inclusive learning processes also are there in schools these days. So these, where we adapt various learning styles, where we adapt to various needs of children, the inclusive approach, a sense of belonging, and long-term engage. So that encourages long-term engagement. Then we also, emotional regulation also is, is learned when they are in the preschool, where they learn to identify and express their own emotions. They are also able to, identify their friends' emotions. They might not be able to identify the emotions of the entire class, but they are able to identify a very simple thing, if they're making noise, or they're just a little out of control, and you sit there like this and you tell them, teacher's very sad today, and then you see they understand, and they are like, back onto their toes, or they're back to their places doing what is expected out of them. So that is also something where, they've understood someone else's emotion. And apart from that, yes, parent involvement also starts happening at the preschool level, because parents, these days, most of the preschools involve parents in quite a few activities. So that is also something which is, very, very positive. And of course, there's a holistic development happening at all times, because we are not only focusing on academics, but in preschool, there is the physical development happening, where the fine motor skills, large motor skills are being developed. They are having music and movement classes, which again, teaches them to concentrate, teaches them to focus, enhances their listening skills, their physical coordination, and activities like storytelling nurture their emotional and cognitive aspects. And all this together contributes to the holistic development, and it's a foundation for lifelong learning. Over to you, Sonal ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I really appreciate this thing that when you spoke, these are actually what you have spoken about is what happens in a 3-hour classroom, and which is not there in the curriculum and which is not there in the teacher training institutes. So as the topic says that can preschool bolster student engagement, do you think these kind of trainings are given in any kind of a teacher training institute so that the teachers are well equipped with the skills to tackle these day in and day out unpredictable what do you say affairs in the classroom?
No, ma'am. When we attend teacher training colleges or teacher training institutes, whatever, there we are always taught on, methods on how you will teach, what you will teach, and how you will teach. We are not taught all these things. There is nowhere do we, we learn how to handle emotional regulation, or, like even when you make a lesson plan. So when you make a lesson plan, the aim, the objective, all that is there. But beyond that, what is there is not taught in any of the
Exactly.
colleges. And that is where, so even for me, it came out of experience, it came out of self-learning. Because when when you are put into a class, and then it is like, it's a sea where, and there are all sharks around. So when you have to learn to save yourself from those sharks, then it is, you start learning all this.
Exactly.
I would say teachers today are blessed because the number of children in the classes is, like limited to 30, 35. Unlike me, when, schools where the school where I taught, we used to have 60, 65. So those were the large number of children. But yes, these things are not taught in the training colleges. And I think we need to introduce this into the teacher training institutes, into that curriculum there.
I truly appreciate this. Definitely, I will say the sharks are different personalities of the teachers, and it all reflects on the children's academic performance also. And the tiny fishes, as you spoke, are they all like finding Nemo in between them? कि कौन सा
Absolutely.
बच्चा, हाँ, so it is a very tough task for the teacher to understand every brain structure of every different child. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful insight. Coming back, yeah, please say, ma'am.
Ma'am, in all training institutes, the major focus should be child development.
Yes, that is what is missing. That is what I always say. Because it's easy to pick up a curriculum and it's easy to pick up the lesson plan. But understanding the brain structuring and the wiring and the firing of the neurons in the brain, every networking of a child is different. You may not know the Einstein resides in which child, but वो Einstein को पकड़ना ही टीचर को आना चाहिए. Child
बिल्कुल.
psychology का वो सारा वो जो कहते हैं ना 1 by 1 ladder of learning वो आना चाहिए. So thank you so
Right.
much, ma'am, for your insight, and definitely coming to round 2 again. And
Sure.
I would like to call my most my most appreciated member, and she is from Greece. And Rania ma'am, over to you. And talking about connecting connecting Dimple Sahi ma'am's topic, can preschool bolster student engagement, and with your topic, social values in children. So please introduce yourself and your topic, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Welcome.
Good evening from Greece. I'm Rania Lampo. I'm a global educator and STEM instructor, researcher, and author of scientific book for kids. And I'm a very active member of Metamorphosis. And it's a great privilege for me to be a part of this very innovative group. And many thanks to Dr. Sonal for this great opportunity. Yes, my topic is closely related with what Dr. Dimple presented, because I'm going to talk about social values, in particular, service learning and volunteerism. Because it's something which is close to my heart, and I'm very active on this since the last. I mean, my whole life, I have dedicated my energy, my passion to service learning. So values education, we talk about values education, is multidimensional, and it's integrated not only preschool, but across all areas of schooling, covering many domains and learning areas in a holistic and interdisciplinary way. And of course, values are implicit, we could say they're hidden in the curriculum, or explicit in this holistic approach to teaching and learning. A whole person approach is experiential, it's participative, it's inquiry-based, it's empowering, transformative, it's relevant and contextual to the learners. So schools need to use values education to consciously foster, first of all, the cultural understanding, especially nowadays where the majority of classes are multicultural. Here in Greece, we have many refugees, so a lot of minority groups, so children should be familiarized with all these social situations. And social cohesion, social inclusion. So education is this medium for transmitting values and attitudes, the impacts of which extend a long way into the future life of individuals. So it is very important to place emphasis on the teaching, especially of social values in the preschool age, which should take place among the goals set by the curriculum. Of course, in many countries, values education or volunteerism is not integrated so far in the curriculum. But we know it's an urgent imperative because the increasing social problems in society, at home and schools, such as emotional, physical violence, intolerance, are closely related to what? To a lack of social values. Children become more and more violent nowadays and aggressive because of all this culture or violent culture that they receive during their childhood, or the comics, the video games they're playing, the violent films, everywhere is violence. So the values of empathy, of compassion, of equal opportunity, of care for the other, for the environment, it's crucial. So nurturing a community that is inclusive and empathetic helps students, especially at this sensitive age, in their intellectual and emotional development. If, for instance, we try to intervene to teenagers who are already 12 or 3 years old, it's not easy to change them, change their mindset. I'm telling this because I had implemented a project on gender-based violence in Nigeria. I wrote this project for younger children because in Nigeria there are high rates of gender-based based violence there. So it was not easy to handle teenagers of 12 or 13 years and above. So early age, early steps is the critical period where we can intervene and where we can shape the character and the mentality and the character of children, of individuals. And of course, if we talk about social values, teaching social values increases the capacity to resolve conflicts, to understand another's viewpoints, to show care for the environment, to foster critical thinking, which makes, of course, people more observant and more analytical. If we come here now, the digital world now is in the bedroom of our children. We all know that already preschool children have the tablets next to them. How we help our youth navigate in this world is crucial for their intellectual development and well-being. ICT, of course, have been embraced with enthusiasm, especially in education. However, inappropriate practices by young people are challenging society and educational institutions to understand the moral values and abilities that can mediate their uses of ICT and help them respond to the challenges they face while using ICT. The reality is that the use of technologies is rich with promises and risks, but both carry moral consequences and a personal responsibility. So a proactive approach here is needed to preparing people before they set sail in the digital world. They need to demonstrate moral agency with respect to the use of ICT, such as standing up to cyberbullies, for instance, or supporting their peers in need. This is another point when we talk about digital world. I want to mention the case of Australia because recently I was a part of a committee of experts. We wrote actually a framework of the values education, which was presented in the Ministry of Australia, and it was approved. And it's related to Australia's National Values Education Framework. It's amazing because this framework is so rich in content and application. It contains modules, separate modules on care and compassion, on freedom, on honesty, trustworthiness, integrity, respect, responsibility, understanding, tolerance, inclusion. Because Australian authorities believe that students should be inculcated all these values at an early age. Students in Australia are motivated to reach the full potential. They have an appreciation and respect of social, cultural, and religious diversity. They're active and informed citizens. They have a sense of global citizenship, and they're responsible as global and local citizens. And of course, this way they develop a sense of self-worth, they have self-awareness, they understand the spiritual, moral perspectives and dimensions of life, and they develop ethical integrity. Of course, this makes them well prepared for the potential life roles as family, community, and workforce members. Relate to others better and form and maintain healthy relationships. Of course, this way they can work for the common good, in particular, sustaining and improving natural and social environments. Another part of component, I could say, of social values is experiential and community service learning. Is what I said in the beginning. Values education is about helping students make a positive contribution to the world. Project-based learning can be an important tool for fostering values in education. Teachers, of course, rather than being dispensers of knowledge, become now facilitators or coaches for students who become actively engaged in the needs of the community. Teachers bring the classroom into the community context, therefore fostering intellectual development such as problem-solving skills, ethical development, civics and moral responsibility, multicultural understanding, career preparation, and personal growth. And here we should highlight the importance of informal learning because I said in many countries, values education is not integrated curriculum. So informal learning comes here. How? By means of a participatory, of a student-centered and organized process linked to specific educational objectives. That could be life skills, learning skills used in everyday life, while we prepare students for active citizenship role. Volunteerism, service learning enables students to obtain a set of practical skill sets that are not directly taught at school, allowing them to learn by doing, by serving and reflecting on experiences while taking on more responsibility for their own learning. So learners can be supported by means of values clarification while they make a contribution to the community. And this enables them to identify their own values and build understanding of diverse values and perspectives. Social values actually show the ideal way of thinking and acting in a society. Understanding and explaining the extremely complex nature of values at national and global settings is the most important condition or prerequisite to build a harmonious and peaceful world. Teaching values is the most important element, remember, of social control mechanism. Teaching values is a realistic solution for any existing or potential problems, both in social and global scale. And volunteering training, unfortunately, here in Greece, have said this many times, we have not developed this culture of volunteerism. This is related to human rights, but also environmental, cultural, and developmental education. I believe that volunteer training should be integrated in the curriculum, especially in primary education. Hopefully, in Greece, this has happened very recently. Because this session would help students to get acquainted, understand issues related to volunteering. It will help them to be informed about the problems of the society, to become aware of the problems, to learn how to develop individual responsibility for social change, how skills shape attitudes, values, and help them manage issues that affect their society. And of course, this way they will find motivation, because this is very fulfilling when you know that you will serve humanity. So they activate imagination, they give solutions, they obtain self-confidence and engage in collective activities and collaborations. So I think that we need to remember that we need citizens that to make the right moral and ethical choices, especially at the ballot box where they have to vote, citizens that are able to succeed in their individual pursuit of happiness. We need to ensure that when students, from the day they start school, when they leave school, the last day of their formal education, they should be ready for the real world. And this should start from preschool age. Students should know about laws, know about how to vote, the importance of good health, how to maintain it, about healthcare, about taxes, about rents, things that they will go to face in their real life. So service learning should be, for me, a leading priority of schools, because it will help students to gain qualities such as compassion, confidence, and resilience, to obtain certain set skills that are not directly taught at schools. And this way they can get a positive mindset, they can acquire a boundary breaking mindset through participating in service. And of course, this way we prepare students, little students, to serve the community, so that the broader community benefits from them as well. So I want to say also that before concluding, of course, volunteering is a product of love and shapes souls, and this is very important to me as a teacher, because the job of a teacher is to guide younger souls on the path to their development. The international experience also that I have gained, and the experience from all these years of volunteerism, I teach as a volunteer here in Greece to refugees and to children with special education needs, and also I was in the biological hospital. This convinced me the value of volunteering. And recently also, for concluding, I want to say that I was selecting, I was appointed actually here in Greece as International Ambassador of Volunteerism and Education of the Greek Academy of Volunteerism, Help Hellas. It's a governmental program, very important. And our role is to create, to promote volunteerism all over the world through a small country like Greece, to connect volunteers who can help each other in different countries, and of course facilitate social integration for students, especially those who have learning difficulties or special education needs. And for the first time also here in this academy, we try to upgrade, to elevate the status and the role of volunteerism, because we have created a registry of volunteerism. We have developed a system with certification and training. So volunteers for the first time will be certified. It's a great step, of course, from Greece, and this shows that we need to cultivate this mindset at an early age. This is very important because, as I said before, unfortunately, in many countries, not only Greece, this is not a culture very well developed. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful, ma'am. So my, after hearing all the points from you, my question to you will be, what are the social values when we talk about intercultural educational connections? What are the social values that you think
Yes.
needed to be developed?
Yes,
For
yes.
example,
Mhm. Here in Greece, I have said many times that we, unfortunately, we demonstrate racist behaviors and attitudes. We have xenophobia. There are many times that when I participate, for instance, in Indian events, I receive bullying from Greek teachers. It's the reality, I can't hide it. Greek people, but also other in other European countries, they are very, restricted, they have fear of the others. Of course, the latest years, because of the arrival of many refugees and minorities that are coming, and we have more and more multicultural societies, children are getting more and more familiarized with children from other countries, children who are coming also from conflict zones, from war zones. So whether we like it or not, we have integrated in the curriculum, we design activities, even if it's not integrated curriculum, we have to design activities that could promote intercultural competencies. How this could happen? For instance, presented traditions and cultures and the history from different countries to children, to small children. The best way, I think, is to organize Skype sessions or virtual sessions with students and teachers from other countries. Before COVID pandemic, I was conducting Skype sessions with students from Vietnam. I had a teacher, a friend, who invited me in this. It was amazing. My students, were crazy to learn about Vietnam and all this culture and habits and traditions. So international collaborative programs is a very important technique in order to promote multiculturalism. Peace education, everything has to do with activities that help children resolve conflicts, because when we don't accept the other, this automatically leads to conflict. So learning strategies, how? Through role playing, for instance, we can simulate dialogues. In this way, we can help the children reach the catharsis, as we say in the theater, reach a point where they're liberated from all these restraints, constraints, and all these negative attitudes and negative mindset. So I think that it's a responsibility of educators to design activities that will help promote interculturalism. There are many strategies for this. We can leverage art, music, dance for this, especially for younger children in this age, and make them realize that we need the others. We should not be afraid of others. And we need, the human brain actually needs others to interact and in order to evolve.
wonderful, wonderful. So that is the reason we connect and we learn from each other about intercultural diversity also in education. So thank you so much, Rani ma'am. Coming back to the round two after the speakers are done. And over to Rachana ma'am. You want me to call you or you want me to call Samir sir? What shall I call you? Okay. So over to Rachana ma'am. And let us also hear from her. Connecting Dimple ma'am's topic, can preschool bolster student engagement, to Rachana ma'am. Are you classroom ready? So she is going to share some of her experiences and learning. Being in the classroom, are the teachers well equipped or no? Over to you, Rachana ma'am. Introduce about yourself.
Very good evening to all the dignitaries present here. I'm Rachna Jagta from Aurangabad. I'm a headmistress of Podar Prep. So this is my first ever opportunity to speak before such great dignitaries here. So definitely thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity given to me. So as a headmistress of the school, I do believe that the classroom has to be well prepared, ma'am, before every child enters into the classroom or the school. I always feel and believe that the environment, the classroom, plays a very, very important role in learning. As it can be also called as a third teacher, ma'am. So the classroom should always be vibrant and a learning tool for children. I feel that a teacher should always look into taking care of the safety and security and should always focus on that. So physical, the teacher should focus on how the physical part is, the emotional part is, as well as there should not be a sexual abuse and everything. So physical here can be considered as the furnitures of the classroom. The furniture should be always safe. You should always look at the edges. There should be no sharp benches or tables or chairs. Emotional in the sense that there should be no threat in the classroom. There should be no shouts, no insults, no corporal punishments, as I feel it should happen. So when a student feels safe and respected, both emotionally as well as physically, they are able to focus more better on learning. So always try and create a tension-free classroom. So that is what I feel, because a role of a teacher is very, very important in the emotional development of the child. So always create a tension-free classroom. The second important thing that I feel is that you should know your children, where your child is very good at. Every child is unique. Every child is different. So you cannot compare the children. So know your children, know their plus points, know where the child has to be worked on. And as a teacher, I feel that whenever teacher enters into the classroom, I feel she should leave her problems at home, because at the gate, I always tell my teachers always this, I know everybody has problems, everybody has concerns and issues. So always whenever you are entering into the gate, I always tell my teachers, please leave all the burdens, leave all your tensions outside the gate, and please come into and enter into the gate with a very smiling face. But before going home, please do take that potla of back home. So yeah, dress comfortably. I feel the teacher should always be dressed comfortably so that she should not get irritated while doing any art and craft. These are the classroom, a teacher should be prepared before a classroom. She's setting up a classroom. A teacher should avoid shouting in the class. We suggest to teachers that you always try and use, instead of speaking a lot, use non-verbal sign languages, which I feel ki jaise open your snack box. Instead of saying open your snack box, do these sign languages, which your classroom will also be a less noise in the class. Do gestures like open the classroom, open the tiffin box, close the tiffin box. So this also sometimes turn your chair. These are what are the things that we follow in our schools. So again, when a classroom is busy, display is also very important in a classroom. A cat should always be smaller than smaller than an elephant. An elephant should not be smaller than the cat. So whenever you're displaying anything in the classroom, size definitely matters, because the child is going to be seeing whatever you are going to be displaying. So he should not feel ki why a ball is bigger in size than an elephant, and why an elephant is small in size than a ball. So size matters a lot. Again, one more important thing is when you are into the classroom and when you're displaying all the things, birthday charts play a very, very important role in a classroom. Because why birthday chart should be put in the classroom? See, there are children in the class where they are 6 months old and where they are 6 months younger in the class. Some are November born, so they have an advantage of being a little older in the class, or they might take an advantage of being a smaller in the class. So whenever when we display worksheets of children, we always write date of birth of children in every worksheet. Why so? Because see, a 6-month-old जो बच्चे होते हैं, अगर 6 months का difference होगा, the difference in the drawing will also be seen. So when parents come and see the classrooms and they see that there is a difference in the drawing, that this child has drawn so beautifully and why my child has not drawn. So here we can tell the difference by showing them the birthday chart. Ki ma'am, see, there's a difference of 6 months, there's a difference of 8 months, and there's a difference of this. So that this drawing will definitely your child be able to do when he crosses this age. So there's always a difference of age also in one classroom. So list of transport children should also be there. So you should be in your fingertips where you should be come to, okay, these children are always going by availing the transport facility. These children are availing, pick up by the private vans. These parents are going to be, so transport facility, the transport children and those who are availing the transport, those who are not availing the transport should all be written. It should be on your fingertips to know and tell parents and tell anybody who comes to know that these are the children who avail these facilities. So contact list also should be there in the classroom or in your registers maintained. So if any case of emergencies, you will not have to search here and there, where are the list of parents and where the contact list. So this has to be there always in your registers, or where somewhere displayed where you can easily get accessible to. I even feel that there should be names on the tables. So there are sometimes a little a fight, ki I will sit here, I will sit there, I will go there, I will there. So whenever, if you put names, this goes with the pencils also, because what I feel, ki even if you label the pencils also, there is a fight ki ye badi wali pencil mere, because this is what experience I have and I've gone through, ki even they fight for pencils also. Meri badi, meri choti, so I'll take this pencil, I will not, and they fight over that also. So instead of avoiding such accidents and incidents, because of fighting over a pencil can even cause a little concern also. So always try and label the pencils with their names also, so that yes, this is your pencil and this is your pencil. So they will never fight over the pencils, and maybe you will avoid having incidents and accidents in the class also. Naming the tables, putting, see, if my name is Rachna and I'm sitting on this table, so let my name be written on the table, so that whenever I'm writing and I'm trying to write my name, I can even see the letters and can copy and write my name from that also. So these are the things. And I even feel neatness and cleanliness is a key to a happy classroom. So if the teacher is neat and clean, if she's well organized, the class will also be neat and clean, and children do imitate from their teacher also. They learn from the environment, so they'll practice these qualities at home also. So happy teachers make happy classrooms. So a stress-free environment, the positive personality, the adult's behavior, and positive emotions, these all enhance the brain development. So definitely I feel ki these are the things that are very, very important, where the teacher should look into all these things. And permission forms, the consent form, the allergy list, all these things are very important when the school reopens, so that when a child comes into the school, the allergy list, yes, because in our school there's a birthday policy where we do not cut cakes, we do not distribute chocolates, we always give fruits or maybe educational things. So if I know, if the allergy list is filled with me, and I know this child is allergic to banana, this child is allergic to something, so looking at that, I'll definitely come to know, yes, this child is not supposed to be given a banana when the birthday gifts are being celebrated, is being distributed. So allergy list is also very important, contact list, birthday charts, displays are very important, and the teacher has to be always smiling and a smile on her face. So these are the things that I feel as an educationist are a little important, more important considered to other things.
Wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful. Yeah. So I myself got to learn something today, and I think Dimple ma'am, can you make out what did we get to learn from Rachna ma'am today? Has she shared that there are so many parents when they come for open house and for other things, they always have this, like you told in the starting, कि मैं ही आगे बढ़ूंगा, आप आगे नहीं बढ़ोगे वाला जो केस है, वो क्लासरूम में भी एग्जिस्ट होता है. So when parents interact and when parents connect the children with each other, I really like this example of Rachna ma'am, कि वो assessment technique की तरह एक बन गई है, that keep a birthday chart ready so that parents can come to know that if your child is 4 months younger, to depending on the child's being 4 months younger, उसकी जो progress level है वो इतनी है, it is perfect as per his age level.
Yes, age appropriate.
Yeah.
I also wrote down that same point, ma'am.
Yeah, I think most of the people should keep this in mind, because parents में ये बहुत रहता है कि उसका बच्चा आगे क्यों आया, मेरा बच्चा नहीं, एक ही साल में बॉर्न हुए। 1 साल का बॉर्न का केस नहीं है, इट इज 2-2 महीने का जो लर्निंग गैप जब बोलते हैं, when we
Yes,
talk
ma'am. The
about learning
difference,
gap. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt, because the difference is always there when a just born baby and a 6 months baby. A 6 months
exactly.
baby can definitely do a little better thing than a just born baby. So that is the difference that
Definitely.
we have to
So
always
the
tell parents.
Yeah, so depending on the milestones achieved when the child is born, the growth level is as per the child. No child is a problem. No child is having any problem. But depending on the year or month of the child, 4 महीने छोटे, 5 महीने छोटे, तो उनका वो लेवल वैसे आ जाता है। बट वो सही है अपने एज के हिसाब से। बट पेरेंट्स ये मानने को तैयार नहीं होते कि उसका अगर अच्छा ड्राइंग कर सकता है तो मेरा क्यों नहीं कर सकता है। So they don't understand that your child also will come to that level soon.
Yes,
Give
yes,
the child, let the child learn at his own pace.
exactly.
So
Every
I
child
really
is
like this. I think most of the educators should take this point. Number one, I really like this. Number two
Thank
is आपने जो वो बोला कि वो जो टेबल पे नाम लिखना और फाइट नहीं होना। अब I remember what I used to do is weekly I used to tell the children Monday to Friday, जो बच्चा अच्छा काम करेगा, कहना मानेगा और टीचर का अच्छा काम करेगा, उनको स्टार मिलेगा। तो स्टार के हिसाब से वी यूज्ड टू पुट स्टार्स, और सुबह ही हम जल्दी चले जाते थे और चौक से हम स्टार्स बनाते थे डेस्क में छोटे छोटे। तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन वीकली और क्वार्टरली बेसिस जो बच्चे के जितने स्टार्स अचीव हुए, वो बच्चा वो स्टार वो जाके टेबल पे डेस्क पे बैठेगा। तो दैट इज ऑल्सो उससे बच्चे क्या है, ये जैसे नानिया मैम ने कहा, सोशल वैल्यूज सीखते हैं कि हाउ वी हैव टू लर्न टू बिहेव इन द सोसाइटी, हाउ टीम स्पिरिट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट इन द क्लास। ऐसे नहीं कि मेरा नाम है ये डेस्क पे तो मेरा ही होगा, नहीं, द डेस्क कैन चेंज, द नंबर्स कैन चेंज। तो आप अच्छा काम करोगे, आपके 2 स्टार और हो जाएंगे, अगर आपने बुरा काम किया तो 1 स्टार माइनस हो जाएगा। सो दे विल डेफिनेटली वॉन्ट कि नहीं मेरे 2 स्टार और बढ़े, नॉट reduce this chart rather than increase this chart.
Ma'am,
So,
I just forgot to put
yeah.
one more point here. We do have a discipline chart also in our class, which, we do not, corporal punishment is really not good. Zero tolerance policy we have to
Yes.
follow. So we cannot tell children ki you are wrong, you are wrong. We have a nice mango tree and we have a basket there. So every child's name is written on a mango and they are on the tree. So if a child is not behaving properly, or if the child is troubling little the teacher, so that mango comes down and वो आ जाता है नीचे बास्केट में. So the child feels a little, थोड़ा सा बुरा लगता है कि अरे I am not there with the other rest of mangoes, so let me also. So the child starts, उसको खुद को ही लगता है कि अरे I should behave really very good so that teacher will put back me on the tree. So this is the way that we tell children ki how to be really very good in the class, so that it hurts the child. Not hurting is really very bad, this is a wrong word that I'm using, but then usko wo emotionally thoda sa ye ho jata hai ki अरे my mango should also be
demotivated
with
हो
other
जाता है।
mangoes,
हाँ,
not in the basket. So this we call as a discipline chart that we have in every classroom.
wonderful, wonderful. I remember, I think today I attended an event, I don't know, I really like that कि जब स्पोर्ट्स डे होता है और ऐसे बड़े इवेंट्स होते हैं ना, तो द स्कूल सीज के कोई भी बच्चा घर निराश नहीं जाए। तो वो जब देखते हैं कि दूसरे बच्चे को प्राइज मिल रहा है, उसको डायस पे खड़ा कर रहे हैं, तो जो बच्चा नहीं कर पाता है उसको भी उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंस दिया जाता है, उसको भी उतना ही कि मैं भी घर कुछ लेके आया हूँ। So this is what we need to inculcate in all the teachers, in all everyone, कि ये जो बच्चे इससे बहुत पॉजिटिव फील करते हैं, एंड they start showing their medals irrespective of being the winner or not being the winner। वो मेडल दिखाते हैं कि मैं मेडल जीत के लाया, तो उससे वो क्या बच्चे का पॉजिटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट होता है। तो मोस्ट ऑफ द स्कूल्स I've seen,
Children do not know what competitions are, ma'am. This competition is what parents have, and they वो घर से sports day, even we do have sports day, घर से ही बोल के भेजते कि you have to run first, you have to run first. But then they know for us every child is a winner, and we do not believe in races, but we should believe in human race. So for us, हमारे what we do, let every child यानी हम लोग पहले ही बोल के रहते हैं कि there is no first, no second and no third, and we are not going to be making the child stand on the dais of first and second, third, because फिर नहीं अगर बच्चा जीतता है तो there is a parent standing, अरे your friend जीत गया and then see you were not able to win, so that again emotionally breaks down the child ki, "Arey, I was not able to win the race and my parents are not so happy." So no competitions, no, every child for us is a winner. Let the child come last or let the child come first. So every child is going to be given a certificate as well as a medal. So
I
this is
think
what every
today
school-
was a very wonderful moment. Every child was showing the medal and the victory
Yes,
sign. Yes, I am a winner too. So this is, many schools I've attended and they call me and they always give story books. So 3.5-3 साल का बच्चा अभी इतना पढ़ना भी नहीं सीखा है, वो story book का क्या करेगा? And parents do have a lot of story books at home to make their child read at night. But ये एक जो होता है ना, at the age of 2.5, 3.5, जब बच्चा एक मेमोरी एक ऐसा लेके आता है, चाहे वो विनर हो या नहीं, वो लाइफ लॉन्ग तक वो उसके ब्रेन में रहता है. And it is just a kind of a memory trinket that he will like to cherish all his life. वो जब 10th में जाएगा उसको नहीं पता है कि मैं जीता था कि नहीं जीता था, मैंने मेडल लिया था, वो उसको याद रहेगा. And
Yes.
believe me, it's a very ये बहुत इमोशनल कनेक्ट होते हैं और ये हमें डेवलप करने चाहिए, बिकॉज आने वाले टाइम में ये जो सोशल बॉन्डिंग है, इमोशनल कनेक्ट है, ये कहीं ना कहीं खत्म होता जा रहा है. So I salute those schools who bring out the best in every child and reward every child with something to take at home. And medal is something, a very big thing for a small child. So
Yeah.
I think the ma'am is over here. She was there today and I am really impressed by this. वो जब मैं वापस आ रही थी, वो पूरा रास्ता मेरे दिमाग में था, एक एक बच्चा कैसे मेडल दिखा रहा था और विक्ट्री साइन दिखा रहा था. So it's a very beautiful moment for a child. Well, thank you. And one more thing I would like to ask you, Rachna ma'am, have you ever been pressurized to do something which did not go with your principles that could impact a child's performance?
No, ma'am. Actually, whatever the thing is being followed in Podar is as per the child. What you want as an educator and what I want as an educator and what a parent want is not being considered. Is only thing what a child should be given is being given to the child. So every activity, everything is age appropriate and for the betterment of the child. So whenever I am taking an inquiry or whenever a parent is coming for an inquiry in school, I always, because parents do want writing part, and where I believe and the school believes that a writing should be given at a proper age, not before
Exactly.
that.
Yes.
So yes, so that is the only concern that we always feel, and we have to convince parents ki let everything is going to be happening. Yes, the child will also be going to be writing, but let them give that much of time and space. Let the fine motors, gross motors be developed. So before their motors are developed, we should never give a pencil to hand. Let the activities first be given to that, so that the child will develop his fine motors, and then only. So the only pressure that I get from parents is, ma'am, writing should be given, but they don't understand that first reading is more important than writing. Agar reading aa
They
jayega, so
say,
there
yeah,
there is
they
going
say
to be
na,
writing.
the 3 hours of child
Yes,
development,
the
reading,
3
writing, and
hours.
arithmetic. But what
Yes.
I believe now is, in the age of digital literacy, जिस स्पीड से बच्चा स्वाइप करता है आज फोन और
Exactly.
मोबाइल और लैपटॉप, whatever it is, and the swiping has actually impacted the child's fine motor skill.
Yes, yes.
क्योंकि
I
उसके
hope
लिए
in a
स्वाइप
good way.
करना इजी हो गया है, बट पेंसिल पकड़ के मेहनत करना, लिखना कम हो गया है. So try to give children more of coloring activities,
Coloring, play.
irrespective of whatever they are doing. Scribbling भी कर रहे हैं, उसको करने दे, क्योंकि बाद में जाके वो firm grip है ना, adulthood में बहुत problem देती है. And then you
Yes.
start getting these joint problems at an early age
Yes,
now,
ma'am,
because
yes.
आगे जाके जिस हिसाब से स्ट्रेस बढ़ने वाला बढ़ता है as a child, academic pressure बढ़ता है, तो ये सारी चीजें internally बहुत affect करते हैं, and this creates a low down of the academic performance. क्योंकि जब वो 2.5 hours में उनको जब when they have to write a paper within the time limit, that time the firm grip of the hand doesn't stay with you. So try to inculcate more of hands activities, कुछ भी करके, कैसे भी करके. So thank you so much, Rachna ma'am, for your valuable insights, and it was a learning for experienced educators like me also today. Thank you so
I'm
much.
obliged, ma'am, obliged. Thank you so
So
much.
I would like to call Sameer sir, and he is into education from many years. And let me share. And Sameer sir, introduce about yourself, your
Yeah.
work, and the work that you are doing in the society, Let us all know, everyone. Over to you, Samir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I'm Samir Kasnis. I'm working with a junior college situated in the suburbs of Mumbai, that is Shri T.P. Bhatia Junior College of Science. And this is my 26th year of teaching, or I'll say learning the nuances of teaching. And in this process, I'm also associated with a few NGOs where we go out and help those kids who are deprived of the mainstream. And that's what my work is. My work is also about learning throughout. And as Rania Lampong ma'am said about catharsis from poetics of Socrates, great Socrates, I want to add something more about it from the same book of poetics. It is said that he made a line which I thought I should explain you today. That is, unexamined life is not worthy of living. And I suppose that when I started to interpret that particular line from the poetics, I realized that unexamined refers to a person without curiosity. Because if you see the entire history, the anthropology of history, human history, you'll find that curiosity plays a very, very important part in everything what makes us to lead in front. And when you talk about, as I was listening, all these elite people talking about a lot of things in terms of education and correlated, curiosity today of students is nothing with A for apple, B for ball, and C for cat. They are done with that. Today, a kid is more involved, curious to know more about aeroplanes. So A for aeroplane, B for is more into bikes, and C for computers. So today, when I'm going to talk about the breakthroughs impact, I think that impact what we had about the technology which has enhanced the teaching, I should talk about that. But before that, yesterday's Times of India, the front page, there was one article, a survey by Pratham Foundation, which was published of 28 states and 26 districts out of these 28 states. And it was very pathetic to know that 43% of students from the lower grades at the primary are unable to read a complete sentence in English. 23% of the kids who are in second grade are unable to read in their mother tongues. And this is something very, when we talk about competition, and as I was listening, there was no need of competition. I think a healthy competition is a part of human race. I cannot be into a race if there is no demarcated line and if there is no marking of first, second, third. Because when I talk about healthy competition, I have to run in the race. I should see that I should not dodge, I should not pull somebody down, but I should be on my track and finish the race of best of my ability. And I suppose this is what the entire process of education refers to. The yesterday's Times of India was page 1 and page 8 completely talks about how Indian education right now is not in that concrete consolidated stage where we can compete with the world over. Only 50% around students have email ID. Out of that entire, when I went through this entire article throughout from page 1 and page 8, I realized that though there is all these things make you a little sad, that that's how the situation of Indian education is, but there is one thing which makes us very happy, and that is out of this entire, around 90% of students use smartphones. So I suppose this is what the education is today. When you talk about education, when you talk about learning process today is into 3 phases. I learn, I unlearn, and I relearn. That's what, in a simple way, say upgrade. We always look out for the thing called upgradation. So learning, unlearning, and relearning is a complete process. And I suppose this is the reason why this particular report is very important for me, because it talks about students know what smartphones are. During the COVID, I had been to the interior parts of Osmanabad district and I'd seen how kids were doing, how situation was. But fortunately, because we had phones, it was possible for us to reach out to them and tell them few things which made them to understand what's going outside their own limited, restricted world where they live in. The hybrid education helped a lot throughout, and I suppose this is what going beyond that entire demarcated line of traditional education system. In Marathi, there's a song. I'll interpret for Rania ma'am. The song says, "Chhadi lage cham cham." What was the traditional way of teaching was corporal punishment. A student was forced to do things, and that's all. But today, I don't think so that particular thing is required anymore, because they have a curiosity. Each and every child is special. every child is talented, and that talent is to understand few things. Though they, at this moment, we can see the article and say, oh gosh, they cannot read a single step. But with the help of advancement in technology, if it is incorporated in a proper way, in a proper channel into the classrooms, I'm sure that this is going to bring a good results. For example, ma'am, the other day when I was teaching about one particular chapter from 12th standard Maharashtra textbook, which was talking about Into the Wild, a writer who walks into the forest and he is lost in this, and this entire the article talks about his situation into that forest. Now, in the conventional pattern of education, I will walk into the classroom, I'll say, get your textbooks, I'll ask them to open, and I'll read out that chapter. Or maybe I'll ask somebody to read, and then there could be an interaction for a little while. But today, in my college of Sri T.B. Bhatia, we have this smart class. So instead of going and asking them to open up the textbook, I straight away plug on and I show them the forest called Nagzara, which is actually the background of the story. I show them the entire. So just imagine when I walk into the classroom and read out about the blue ocean and a dolphin leaping out. Instead of that, instead of speaking, if I show them, it is, I suppose, the great way to engage. Today, education is added up to engage students. When you engage them positively, whatever the competition they'll be always into a healthy, good, and a very collaborative competition. So today, because of the classroom going beyond the house of a student, the simple thing, classroom was inside the drawing room of a kid, and he or she or they all were able to understand how things are. So I think my topic speaks about the same, how you can incorporate technology, how you can incorporate the digitalization into the rightful, proper, constructive way into the actual classroom. Now, when you talk about libraries, I've been to FTII yesterday, that was Film and Television Institute, which is one of the elite institutes of film course. And they said, we have 3 lakh or more than the books, maybe 3 lakhs and more. I said, can you show me? And I could see around 30,000 books in the library. And they said it is more than 3 lakhs. So I was wondering, and I was scratching my head, where are the other books? They said, we have an online library. You can serve and you can get to each and every book connected with films in terms of editing, acting, or whatever, into as well drama. So this kind of thing help a student. If today I want to learn more about film art or whatever, how can I incorporate into that? I have this particular thing, a library which can give me so many books. Second, when I talk about those things, the breakthrough impact, I don't have to take that entire book into my class, into the way I'm traveling, and open up the entire. We all know how Mumbai is and how the public transportation is crowded. Into the bus, I just have to open up the pages and read. It is highly impossible to do so. That book can get damaged. But if I have that smartphone, I can just run through, and it helps me to understand what life is. So when classroom is converted to drawing room, it becomes very easier for a student to understand. The accessibility what they get. A student of interior part of Maharashtra who is not familiar with so many things around, but today, and especially post-COVID, we all know that COVID was a terrible thing. We could cross fingers, never this could happen again. But that particular COVID also brought one more thing: accessibility to the students who otherwise were left out from the technology what is available to us. In the urban areas, students are blessed with technology. They have smartphones, they have everything. But urban areas is a different case when you compare it with the rural areas. Today, when during COVID, everybody realized that, yes, we need to have the technology even to the rural areas. I can see digitalization. I can see smartphones in the hands of kids who are coming from the background, which is very, very interior, where accessibility is not there, but they have that accessibility through internet. Though they don't have roads to travel and reach out to the other place or the cities nearby, but that accessibility helps them. And it helps them to be self-paced. They can do studies on their own, because I've been to places, ma'am, where students don't come to schools during a particular season because they are working on the farms. And it was once, if you are working on the farms, the student will not enter the school, and eventually, or the college, he will not be able to pass out, and he will remain that. And I'll tell you, this was the reason why there were too many dropouts. But today, if you see, because of that accessibility, students, though they are unable to attend, for example, when we had that online session, everything was recorded and everything was stored online. So if a student, because of any due reason, maybe technical reason, unable to reach home or unable to click on or some any reason, he or she or they had that entire resources available, and even that resource is today available for the students who are coming for offline practical classrooms. So this was, I suppose, by and far. Obviously, I know because I work with a junior college. My students are into the age group of 16 to 18. So n number of times I find them playing virtual games, whereas we have a big playground. And that makes me sad because a kid should use that particular beyond that classroom thing or that breakthrough impact for a rightful reaches cause. Instead of playing PUBG, they should actually go and play football, maybe cricket or anything. But this is going to be something which we have to look into, think, plan, execute, and see that they are engaged in a very rightful way. Uh, in my class, ma'am was talking about 60 students. Ma'am, I have 140 students, and they are all of 18. They are very good, but they play a lot of pranks. There is a lot of notoriety. They do a lot of mischief throughout. So you cannot just keep them intact, proper, focused by reading out a textbook. It is going to be a very difficult task even for a senior teacher like me. But with the help of smart classes, we keep them engaged for 1 hour, 10 minutes. I'll tell you, I always want to check out how my students are engaged in my class. I never leave the class by the time when the bell goes off. I just want to see, are they engaged in what I'm doing into? Are they engaged in the activity what we are put into? And I always keep them even through the bell goes off. And they never say, sir, we have to. Sometimes, because as I said, I'm into science college, they raise their hands and say, sir, we have to because we have practicals lined up. And that makes me to understand, fine, that means they are engaged in. Because this is, I suppose, the most difficult part of a teacher, to engage a student right now, today, the one who are exposed to the entire digital world and the technology, what they get into, to engage them without creating that sense of curiosity to know. The classrooms are something which the students come because they have a lot of curiosity. We always, all teachers of my college, and ma'am said about ICT, my principal ma'am did PhD in ICT. So we all know how we can use that ICT in a rightful way to engage students. The other day, if I am talking about history classes, I have some part, not from history, but then in English, there's some part which refers to the Indian history and something like that. If I go into a classroom and I talk about them about Indian history or even the World War II or whatever, they are happy to know, they are engaged, but not throughout. So what I can do, instead of the moment I give them some kind of background, I run them with a lot of videos which are available from National Geographic, from the archives of National Geographic. Even I show them films like Schindler's List. Ma'am, I'm happy to say my college gives me a platform where they say, if you want to, you can. And maybe that is the reason we had a Sherlock Holmes a novel called Sign of Four. So after doing the lesson, we took them all together to the auditorium and we showed them the entire film, which is available on YouTube. And that students were so happy. And they started talking about so many things later on. And we don't stop there. We say, okay, this is what the Sign of Four is. But Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had penned down 56 short stories and 4 novels. So next time when they walk into the classroom, they say, we have got this one, sir. Ma'am, we always try to bring in the printed books, go to the library and get those books. But there are a lot of students from my college. They are into sports and like cricket. We all know what cricket is in India. So once a fellow turned up and said, sir, you know little history about Indian cricket. So could you tell? So I gave him some briefing. But then there are a lot of students who turned up the next day. Sir, you told this guy about cricket and what was how the entire cricket was. And I said, now, instead of giving you everything from me, let us take them to the horse's mouth, to the resource from which I take the extract. And I gave them the book called Stray Thoughts of Indian Cricket, written in 1910. Where students could understand how cricket was initially at the part. And most of the students turned up, they said it was a fantastic book by a Parsi guy, which gave us a lot of things about cricket. So this is, I suppose, I should think about how I can reach out by going beyond the textbook. The moment you think about rainforest or anything, I cannot explain that, though I'll try my best to put in. I'll try my best to explain that everything, and I can try my best to give them that visual sense to understand. But the moment if I show them the actual rainforest, the moment they see that engagement of the students brings out the best in them. And so they are 18, they are grown-ups, they want to express themselves. So they find various ways to express. And this is how we mold them by being into a by giving them that competitive, rightful competitive spirit, not the one where they can get into the cutthroat competition which is there outside that rat race. We want them to give them something which they can be strong going beyond the classroom. And this is what we all do. It is not just me. From the entire college, all teachers are always involved in trying to bring that beyond textbook kind of thing into the classroom. And the kind of smart class or we have, it gives us the added advantage to bring that. And that is the reason why we love to be the matlab, there are a handful of students who leave the class or bunk the classes, in the sense, before the college gets over. We also use that same thing to even check their marks, their papers. Parents have the accessibility to know what the kid is doing. Sorry.
Please have water,
Sorry.
sir. Please have water.
Yeah.
Have water, please.
Sorry. Ma'am, today when we saw this entire thing of the report, every teacher from my college was a little sad to see that in our state of Maharashtra, they did this research for around 1,300 students from Maharashtra, especially from the Nanded belt, which is close by to Usmanabad. Students are into a very prideful situation. And what you rightly said was that Metamorphosis is a platform which works concretely for education and all the correlated activities. So we should not stop by online sessions and offline session. We should practically go down, which is a great idea put forth by you. We should go to the schools, even to the far-fetched, we should go to those schools where they need people like you, ma'am, like Sonal ma'am, and all these elite teachers with those kind of experience they can bring in, which can help those kids. Because when you talk about competition, that competition should not be between urban area students are way ahead of their co-partners of education from rural areas. That breach of urban and rural area will eventually bring down the entire education at a point of time. So it is now high time, I suppose, that smart class should also reach out to them from the rural areas, and that beyond classroom should be there. And maybe that is the only reason why the interior of Maharashtra people talk, they understand more of Marathi. And unfortunately, there are a lot of good teachers, hardworking teachers, but they don't have proper resources with that. This is the only reason why I keep translating the English text of 11th and 12th for my friends from the same fraternity, from the students across Maharashtra. I keep converting a lesson into drama so a student can get engaged. A particular lesson I convert into drama, and I ask them students to play. If they don't, then I read out, and I don't read out. I express whatever the limited knowledge I have of drama and theaters. I try to express, because I know speaking, nobody will listen. It is the moment you express, everybody will see, because expression makes people to see rather than when I speak, you don't listen, because listening is more at times partial. People listen things what they want, otherwise they don't. But the moment you start expressing, which I suppose students, the moment they will understand, enhance themselves in communication, expression is going to play a very important part, and that is going to play a big role in their professional life. Because when they will walk into a place for interviews or anything, the kid who will express his or her ideas better way will be always in the front line. And maybe that is the reason. I'll come back to the same thing what Socrates, the great Socrates, says: unexamined life is always unworthy. So I always try to bring my students to the place, to the situation where they start examining. And the moment they start examining, it inculcates them with the sense of curiosity. The moment they start to get to know what actually things are, they walk on their own, and that makes them more independent. Though they will be in the competition, but I'm sure they'll win. And if not, also they will learn how to take failures in a very positive way, because every time you never win, n number of times you fail, but the moment you fail, you learn the art of winning. So that's how it is. And I'm so happy you gave me this platform to speak my mediocre thoughts in terms of how we all bring in that breakthrough impact going beyond the textbook. So thank you, thanks a lot.
I
Thanks a
think,
lot.
ma'am, sir, we were also glued to hearing you that
Thank you.
taking some
Thank you,
good things from you also. And when you said that you don't leave the classrooms and you have to be there with the children, so I would like to ask what kind of educator you are, authoritative or a authoritarian? What applies
Absolutely,
to
ma'am.
you?
No. We don't follow custodial, we don't follow collegian, we always follow supportive. So I walk into the classroom, and you won't believe it, science students, they come back and say, sir, we have penned down this poetry, we have penned down this story, we have seen this particular movie, this is my review for the film. So along with the textbook content, because we all know they have to pass and get to, and especially science students, they are more focused for examination of needs and all these things. So I see to it that whatever the artistic aesthetics they have, I always try to sharpen them. And so my lectures are always in the entire college. We always are in a supportive form. We never go with the authoritative or anything. Even students understand the support of a teacher is holistic. So they never put a hand on my shoulder and consider me a friend. Though they
Exactly.
approach me with a friendship way, but they don't consider me as a friend, and they talk beyond the classroom thing, beyond the textbook, or beyond the pattern of education. We always stick with something which we can work together, and not in that friendly way where I can just go out of the line, or the demarcated line, and talk things which are not professionally and ethically good enough. So we always keep with that particular line in that.
I remember I had attended one event of yours, sir. You had invited
Yeah,
me.
man.
That was a
Yeah,
wonderful cultural event. And
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
my members will definitely like to attend one also to have a
Sure.
learning from it. It was a wonderful, I think, interpretation of Ramayana or Mahabharata. What was it, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It
It
was.
was
Yes.
really. अभी जैसे वो शोर बज रहा है, राम आएंगे, तो अभी आप एक अच्छा सा वो program कीजिए, and let us all
Yes.
attend.
Sure.
Let us, because
Absolutely.
these things give us also a learning how to inculcate these kind of drama
Yeah.
practices in the classroom also.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because nowadays,
Sure.
I think I just got two calls during the day that ma'am, वो हमारे बच्चे ये सुन के थक गए, राम आएंगे, राम आएंगे, राम आएंगे, तो उससे हमारा क्या लेने देना है? 3-4 साल का बच्चा बोल रहा है. तो parents are now specially going to the shops and buying the books of Ramayana to explain to the child.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is needed. Rather, you explain Ramayana through
Yeah.
involving the practices of social values like Rania ma'am
Yes.
said,
Yes.
making
Yes.
the teachers classroom ready for those kind of
Yeah.
skills to be developed in the classroom and can foster preschool student engagement also. So all the topics can be merged together to create a wonderful learning system.
Yeah. Ma'am, we
So
take our students to, even though they are from science, we take them to national park inside the core forest, taking permission, so they know what life is there inside. We take them to orphanage because they should also know how things are. We also
emotional
take them to
connect, yeah,
ND.
yeah.
We are also planning to take them to FTII. We always try to incorporate that holistic approach towards education, where they can know what things are, and the moment they know, they are curious to know more, and at a point of time they realize, okay, this is what my calling is, and they can end up in. So there are so many students from my college, they are into science, they have finished with science, they have done engineering, they have done in medical, but there are so many students who are doing television, there are so many students who are doing theater, there are so many students who are doing films, there are so many students who are doing social work, there are so many students of mine, they have started their own school. There is somebody who is into fashion, and everybody is in a way is happy because she, or they all know what their calling was. And maybe that platform is this wonderful place called Shruti Bhatia College of Science, which I'm very proud of my association for last 24 years with.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful learning insights. It has been
you.
really helpful for all. And more sessions, more learning on this breakthrough impact, because it's a very vast topic. So I
Yes,
think, yeah, this is just a brief for what we got from you. So I would like to take the second round, and we'll start from Rania ma'am. Rania ma'am, my question to you on the second round is that, does anyone have any question for Rania ma'am to help me ask her one question? Dimple ma'am? Anyone? Roshni ma'am, you have any question?
Thank you, ma'am, for asking me, considering me in this meeting. For the primary session, I have a question regarding
Yeah.
the behavior of the child, how to control and how to manage the students regarding the behavior, discipline.
So I think Rania ma'am will speak first, and then Dimple ma'am can take over from there. So Rania ma'am, over to you.
It's true that children in primary school nowadays are becoming more and more difficult and more difficult to handle and more undisciplined, because this starts from the family, as I always say. And they have lost the very respect towards teachers. I mean, in comparison to what was happening 10 or 15 years ago. So this needs special treatment. We need to be more upgraded on skills related to psychology. Unfortunately, now educators have assumed multiple roles. We're not only those who transfer knowledge, but we need to have knowledge on psychology or mental health issues, because most of the children who have behavioral problems are coming from families who are divorced, from families who have difficult social situations. This is what's happening statistically. So taking into consideration that these children usually are suffering, they need a special treatment approach. And the best approach is to take them privately, to talk to them privately and open up, help them unlock what is happening inside them. I think it's the only way. Punishment certainly is not the way, because they're becoming more and more aggressive. But approach them, help them share why they're acting like this. Help them share maybe their family problems, or whatever else is their the reason that causes this aggression. It's the only way, I think, that we can handle children at this age. We need a holistic approach, as we always say, and this has to do with psychology, with mentoring, with youth psychology, which is a lot more different, and know what is happening at the critical age, the formation stages of children at each formation stage. So this way we can handle them.
Thank you, Rania ma'am, so much. Thank you. And Dimple ma'am, over to you, the same question for a brief round.
Okay. So for me is when, when we start discussing about behavior is one can try to analyze, sometimes it's even improper sleep. Maybe the child is not really sleeping well, or it can also be a lot can be related to the kind of food the child is eating, because there are a lot of food items which spike, especially when we look at this attention deficit behavior. There are a lot of foods also which spike this this behavior. So that is one. Third is you talk to the family members. Now, if you're asking as a teacher, I would tell you, you talk to the family members, try and find out whether the child is behaving the same way at home also. Is he, or is it that he's behaving only in school? So sometimes it's very often it is the other way around. The child is very good at home and just the opposite in school, or vice versa. And you could even talk to keep observing the child on various different occasions to see what is it that is causing the behavior, the child to behave in a certain way. Because when we talk about behavior, it's always a disorder and not a disease. And very often, when it's a behavioral issue, then the child happens to go to the doctor and they put them on some or the other medicine, just to calm them down. But it's not like that. There are plenty of activities which we can do with children to calm down their particular behavior and, help them cope with things.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So definitely we will come with a session on this also, and we will connect with more educators connecting to the issues in the classroom. So end of the session, and here we come with all the topics and insightful learning. I conclude the session with anyone has to say something. Shubha ma'am, do you need to ask anything?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Next time
Okay.
I'll be prepared with this.
Okay. Yes, Samir sir, yes, yeah.
Ma'am, if you want to conduct this offline where we can actually come in sense together and work, because that could be more concrete. So I can work with my college. We have a newly made auditorium equipped with a high-end technology of good sound and everything. And even we can connect with across the globe through internet, because my IT team is excellent in that. So if you wish, so I can put a word to my college, and they will definitely, they are always proactively positive for everything what helps in terms of education and correlated activities. So if you want, because so we can come together in a point in a place where we can
That's
at
what
least,
that's what I'm trying to create, sir. I want more and more schools and educators to connect so that we can start creating offline
Sure.
workshops so that children can
Yes,
learn
yes,
and pick up the certain kind of skills which the teacher training institutes do not often provide. So sometimes children see and pick up a lot of learnings through animated
yes.
stories or dramas and all, which are
Yes,
connected to culture and heritage also.
yeah.
So thank you so much, sir, for your contribution, and definitely hope for the best. So here we end the session, and insightful takeaway from here is impact created through outside learning. The impact created by outside learning is entirely different from the effects of the classroom teaching. The brain reacts differently when you go for education beyond the classroom. This type of alternate type of learning is called as experiential learning. It is a method of learning that is based on your senses. The things that you see, hear, and feel can create a more significant impact on your success. Exploring the things around the world can help in widening your practical knowledge. Beyond the class, educational methods maximizes the potential of learning. It gives an overall quality learning experience as it bridges the gap between classroom study and practical study. So this was the takeaway from today's session. Breakthrough impacts, be classroom ready, social values, and can preschool bolster student engagement. My deep respect and thanks to all the members, the genuine members of Metamorphosis who have been here from the last 1.5, 2 years with me. So over to more sessions in the future and coming month. Thank you so much, Rania ma'am, for being there all the way from Greece. And thank you, Samir sir, for your insightful information. Thank you so
Thank,
much. Thank you,
thank you,
Roshni.
ma'am. Yeah, thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Have a
Thank
happy
you.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.